This Monday, November 27th, NBA betting picks edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is offering new users a $1,000 risk-free bet. Sign up today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. And we're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Monday, November the 27th, currently 11:05 on the East Coast. Here to get into the short 5-game schedule in the association on this Monday. And joining me here to help me break it all down, you guys know him as the superstar of the show. It's the villain himself, Terrell Furman Jr. Terrell, how's it going, my man? How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm going good. I'm going great. And I guess the only thing I have to say here is that some people are very, very shocked. Some people went through the weekend and they were watching the game over the course of this weekend, and they were sitting there and they were saying to themselves, they said self, and their self said, and they said, Terrell was right about those Boston Celtics, man. And I put them -3, whatever, -4, whatever on the parlay anyway. And whole time, that dude that I swear just be talking nonsense on the screen was right, because they go out there and they lose as 5.5-point favorites to the Orlando Magic. I mean, they're now, I think they lost the last 4 straight against the Magic. It might be 3 straight. It's either 3 straight or 4 straight. Shout out to, Mo Wagner, or however you pronounce it. I know somebody got on me that before. Yeah,
that's right.
Shout out
Mo
to
Wagner.
And coming off the bench and having a great day. Shout out to Cole. Shout out to Paolo, who, again, Paolo in his games against the Celtics, 20, 23, 23, 30, 23. So, all I'm going to say is, if you felt like I was just making this up about the Celtics, I just want to remind you that they are now 0-5 ATS in their last 5 games.
Against the Magic, yeah. And I think what also sticks out in the last 3 games, they failed to reach 100 points.
Yes, very much so.
Hey, Magic have been our darling this season, so it's not like we were going to fade them at least.
And I mean, shout out to Drew Holiday for not playing and making it easier on me as well. And shout out to Porzingis for leaving the game early, even though I had him on a parlay for over 2.5 threes at +140, and he left early, making 1. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, Boston falls to the Orlando Magic, the darling this season of the NBA Gambling Podcast. 113.96 on Friday night.
Congrats to the Orlando. I would say congrats to the Celtics for this. They gave the Magic a first half loss on U.S. soil in that game. They did.
Yep.
They did.
I think the script has kind of flipped on the Magic now.
They're second in the East.
I didn't know that. I haven't looked.
Their sole possession of second in the East.
Let's see here. Yeah, I think the last 2 games they haven't covered in the first half.
It's not sole possession.
They've had to come back in the second half and win games. They're tied with Milwaukee, but I mean, still 12-5 for this Orlando Magic team. I know we were high coming into the on this Orlando Magic team, but I didn't know that they were going to be at least.
The wheels fall off at some point, right?
I mean, I think that thing that stands out to me, number one, is that they're dominating at home. They are 7-2, but they're also 7-2 in the conference, which I think that kind of speaks volumes to me.
Yeah.
That they're taking Bears business in the Eastern Conference, right? So, um, yeah, I mean they've won 7 in a row, 8-2 over their last 10. And like I mentioned, 7-2 at home and 7-2 in the conference as well. So, definitely exciting times if you're an Orlando Magic fan for sure. What else, Terrell? Anything else that stuck out to you over the weekend?
I'm trying to think. Can't remember. What about you? What you thinking about?
Um, Nothing really stuck out. I think the Pacers overs continue just to be a cash cow. I don't think that's a secret. Let's see, Friday night. I don't think anything that really stuck out to me. Rockets again at home, taking care of business. I'll say this: play the Rockets when they're at home and fade them when they are on the road. That's just kind of been the story for them thus far this season. What else stuck out? I think that was pretty much it for me. Milwaukee's continuing to struggle a little bit. I don't know if you caught the game yesterday. They had to come from
Oh, when
behind.
they went down 26 to the Blazers.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody somewhere in the world probably put a bet on them to come back and win that game, but
I think I saw somebody
Miss-
at plus 420. I saw somebody that had Bucks at plus 420 in a parlay earlier this weekend. I mean, earlier this morning. I was like, oh, all right, all right. Like, I mean, hey,
uh,
good luck. I wasn't, I don't know, man.
yeah, I wasn't on them.
Milwaukee's weird.
I
Milwaukee's weird.
it's yeah, they look. It looks like that. There's like times, or like there's been like a stretch of like a few games where all right, we're thinking that all right, Milwaukee's back. They've figured things out, but then there's like stretches now. Maybe it was just what a lazy Sunday game for them that they finally flipped the switch in that fourth quarter, came back and won. Third, they won the fourth quarter, I should say, against the Portland Trailblazers, 33-14. Led by Giannis. Giannis finished that game with 33 points and 16 rebounds as well. But other than that, that was pretty much it, man. I don't think anything else really stuck out to me. Magic again won in the against the Hornets. Yeah, pretty uneventful night, at least for Sunday. All right, Terrell, we got about 5 games here on the Monday schedule. But before we dive into those beautiful games, well, let me tell you, we can get down on these beautiful games. That's going to be over on Bet365. We're brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is the world's favorite sportsbook, trusted by over 88 million players worldwide. Props, sides, totals, whatever the case might be, they've got you covered. And if you like boosts, you're going to love Bet365, like a 30% profit boost on your NFL same game parlay. Plus, they even have an early payout offer if your team goes up by 17 points. Sign up today and choose from 2 bonus offers, either a $1,000 no sweat bet or bet $5 to get 150 in bonus bets. Just head to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365. Again, that's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/bet365, or use the sign up link in our show bio. Problem gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, Troll, let's get into these games here for tonight. Let's start here with the game of the night. We'll go with the Los Angeles Lakers. They are in the city of brotherly love. Currently, the line on Bet365 as the Sixers as a 6-point favorite in this game. Total sitting at 231, minus 225 on the money line for the Sixers, and plus 185 on the money line for the LA Lakers. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, and Gabe Vincent are all out. LeBron and Cam Reddish are questionable, and Anthony Davis is probable here tonight. And for the Sixers, Daniel House is questionable, and Jaden Springer is questionable, and we know Kelly Oubre is going to be out for this game. Sixers laying 6 points here against the LA Lakers here, Terrell. Where are we starting with the side?
Yeah, let's go Sixers. I mean, I've said this. I feel like I've said this season more often than I typically do about Bron-led teams, because as we know, I am the number one, Bron fan here at the podcast. I hold it down for all of you heathens who don't acknowledge him as the king. This team sucks.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that good. They're 10-7. I think that I mean, their only wins come against bad teams. Like they only win against team. I really feel like if I go through here, all their wins are going to be teams that are sub 500. Like they finally got the win against the Clippers this time around, sub 500 team. They just beat the Cavs for Bron beating the Cavs. What feels like he never can do, sub 500 team. I'm pretty sure they might be 500 now. Lost to the Magic above 500. Lost to Miami, they're kind of hovering. Lost to Rockets, they look like they're decent. I mean, I guess you get a win against the Suns, but we don't really know what that means. They missing people in and out, that in the third. Like it just feels like this is a typical Lakers. Like this is a typical Lakers season where they just kind of beat up on the teams they should beat up on, and they may or may not be able to steal a win from a good team here or there. But when's the last time I've seen the Lakers win on national television?
Oh, that's a great question. Maybe that Phoenix revenge game they had a couple weeks ago.
It's not as consistent as I would like it to be. I'm just gonna go ahead and take Philly.
Yeah, I like Philly in the first half. I mean, we know their narrative that the Lakers get out to very slow starts in the first quarter and first half, and then they have to play catch up. But Sixers at home this season, 6-3 against the spread, 6-3 to the over, 6-3 straight up. I know they've lost their last 3 games at home, which was against the Pacers. That was the second game of that, little mini series that they have with back-to-back opponents in consecutive nights, or in 2 games in 3 nights. And then they also lost to the Celtics, who were in a revenge spot against the Sixers, who beat them, earlier in November. And then the Cavs came in there in overtime and took care of business against the Sixers there as well. So I think they'll, again, defend home court here. I do like Maxey to have a big game. I don't think there's anybody in the backcourt of the Lakers that can, really slow him down. So I expect a big Maxey game here tonight. I do expect the Sixers to bounce back here. I think it should be a full house, obviously, with LeBron and the Lakers in town here. So I'm looking at first half for the Sixers. I agree with you about the full game here as well. I think you nailed it that they're just beating opponents that are below 500. And when it comes to competition, they just can't take care of business right now, are the Lakers. So hopefully they're able to turn that around if you are a Lakers fan. But as of right now, as we sit here at the end of November, play on them when they're playing against sub 500 teams, and then fade them against teams that are definitely above 500. And again, the Sixers do fit that mold. So with you on the Sixers here. Total here is Terrell sitting at 231. Any feel on that?
So I think it's a tad bit too high. I think I'm expecting to see a little bit more defensive intensity from Nick Nurse's squad. And this could be like a situation where Lakers really, really might not be able to put up that many points. Like Nick Nurse knows how to coach up a team defensively. This Philadelphia team has been one of the top teams in the East defensively, really in the entire league defensively over the course of the entire year. I think that it's a better spot there. Kind of fading this Lakers team like that. Team total under for the Lakers. Slight lean to under for the game. I think Philly can and will put up points, especially how you said Maxey. I think there's nobody there that can stop Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's going to have a really good day, especially I question the coaching on the Lakers side, so I don't think they'll do anything to affect Joel Embiid's game either. I think Joel Embiid has a big game. Yeah, I think that the 76ers is going to be able to score. I just don't know if the Lakers are going to do their part because I don't know what to expect against a really, really competent defense here. So give me the under 231.
Yeah, Lakers over the last 5 games are the second best defensive rated team in the association. Philly in that span of the last 5 games are number 13. So you have 2 teams well above league average. They're doing pretty well on the defensive side of the I'm about to say football, but defensive side of the basketball. And looking at their home numbers here, Philly, where's their defensive rating? Number 9 over their last 5 games at home as far as defensive rating. So you may see a little bit loose in the first half. You want to look at a first half over, but I think that's the defense tightens up in that second half. So I lean to the under here as well. Player props, you mentioned Tyrese Maxey in this game, but anybody else you're looking at here, Terrell?
Yeah, give me Joel Embiid. And I'm not going to play him how you think. Give me Joel Embiid assists. I feel like I'm really, really kind of intrigued by this. And it starts with one Joel being a much, much better passer than, years past this year. And being able to do that, you look at what he's done in the past, and he's gone from averaging 4.2 assists in the last season. He's at 6.3 now.
Yeah.
Like he's really taking ownership of that passing role. Last game, he was one assist short of a triple double. He had 5 the game before that. Listen to the month of November: 9, 5, 9, 8, 7, 6, 7, 3, 4, 6, 3, 7. Like he's been hovering that 6 number that we've been sitting here talking about. So as I pull up on Underdog Fantasy here and look at what they have him listed for his assists, Joel Embiid assist is listed at 6 on the dot. I'm going higher. Give me higher than Joel Embiid 6 assists here. I think this is a really good play. I'm expecting to see Darvin Ham do some very, very childish defensive schemes towards Joel Embiid, like just throwing him double teams and forcing him to get the ball out of his hands. And he's shown over the course of the season he's starting to make plays as a playmaker as well, not just as a scorer. So yeah, I like Joel Embiid higher 6 assists on Underdog.
Yeah, Embiid, 3 straight games against the Lakers, or at least over the last 3 games, has at least 30 points against them, and he's also had a double in those games, so 30 and 10, 38 and 12, 35 and 11 as well for Joel Embiid in those games. So his points prop right now is sitting at 32 and a half, so the market has adjusted to that. Tyrese Max is at 26 and a half in this game as well. So I'd probably look at Maxi. I feel like this is a big Maxi game here. If you want to look at his threes here as well, he's able to knock those down. It's at 3.5 at plus money at plus 115, but I do think this is a big Maxi game here tonight. Anything else for this game, Terrell?
No, I'm good. Let's go.
All right, next game on the board. Let's go over to the Portland Trail Blazers. They are visiting the Indiana Pacers, currently on Bet365. The Pacers are a 13-point favorite in this game with a total of 240, minus 850 on the money line for the Pacers, and plus 575 for the Portland Trail Blazers. Looking at the injury report here for both of these teams, Portland did play yesterday, so they do get that extra time to submit that injury report. For the Indiana Pacers, pretty clean injury report. Only guy that is questionable on this injury report is Aaron Nesmith. He is sitting with a right wrist sprain. Like I mentioned, Portland did fall to, or collapse, I should say, against the Milwaukee Bucks last night in a game of 108 to 102. Milwaukee just wasn't shooting well, but they flipped the switch in that fourth quarter, outscoring the Blazers 33 to 14. And now you have the Blazers on a back-to-back night here, Terrell, in Indiana. Let's start with the side here, minus 13 in favor of the Pacers. What are you thinking?
Oh, 13, minus 13 versus the Pacers. And are we really laying 13 with the Pacers? Like, are the Pacers defense is not good enough to lay 13. Ultimately, that's where I feel like this is. That yes, are the Pacers by far and away a better team than the Portland Trail Blazers? Yes, check yes in that box. However, they literally, like, I promise you, I could send a JV boys basketball team out there and they're going to score. Probably because they're not trying. They're not even trying. No. They're not trying. It's literally just run and gun. But this is Rick Carlisle, and we know how Rick Carlisle gets down. We've seen this in Dallas. We've seen this before. We know this is how he coaches his teams. So why do we question it? I'm actually going to sit here and I'm going to look at what Rick Carlisle is as a double-digit favorite because it can't be good. I don't know what the number is, but it can't be good because his teams never play defense. I don't care. Fade the Pacers, man. I'm not laying 13. Give me the Portland plus 13.
I think that if you do like the Pacers to cover this game by 13 points, like you just have to bet their team total to go over because I think they probably have to put up 140 points here tonight or at least 130 plus if they're going to win this game by 13 points. And it's not like they haven't done it this season at home, and it's been against some of the weaker competition as well. I mean, we'll go back to the beginning of the season. The first game, they beat the Wizards by 23 points. They beat the Spurs by what, 30 some odd points? Sorry, 41 points. They beat the Jazz by 16.
Munaf, it's different when you're expected to do it, though.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
When
And this is
there's
the
the
first
expectation.
Yeah. They're laying double digits this season at home. I'm just kind of curious to see when's the last time they were laying double digits at home.
Never. Freaking what's his name? Chokey. Reggie. That's
Chokey.
the last time. I couldn't get his name out.
Last time.
Chokey is kind of crazy. I'm not even gonna hold you. Chokey's really crazy. All right, let me see here. Where's Rick?
Last time it was last season, March 9th against my Rockets. They were 10-point favorites and they won the game by 9.
All right, let me Rick Carlisle at home.
And 3 out of the last 4 times they've been double-digit favorites. They've lost against the spread, but they have won the game straight up.
Well, I mean, I'm not doubting. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not doubting that. I don't think I think there's a good possibility they could win the game, but I mean, just that line is it doesn't make sense. 13. I get they're on a back-to-back. I get this team is terrible, but this team does not play defense at all. Hold on. I'm about to figure it out. All right, let me see. Double digits. Oh, well, 1-0 there. Oh, 1-1. Ooh, Rick Carlisle. Ooh, Rick Carlisle, this doesn't look good for you, my guy. Ooh, I'm seeing a lot of negative numbers here. Oh my gosh, we might have a new system bet. We have a new system bet. I'm sorry. We have a new system bet. I did not know he was this bad. Would you like to take a guess, Munaf, before I tell everybody? Would you like to take a guess? What percentage do you think that Rick Carlisle is ATS as a double-digit favorite in his career?
17.5.
Dang, you're mean. God dang, you don't think he ever wins? Golly, 17%. Sheesh. 35%. 30 and 55. Rick Carlisle is 30 and 55 ATS as a double-digit favorite in his career. 35%. If you're $100 better, you have lost $2,638 betting on Rick Carlisle as a double-digit favorite in his career. So I'm not going to lock up the Blazers, but I might actually end up locking up the Blazers. Yeah, no, let's lock up the Blazers 13.
Yeah, I think it's just Blazers plus 13, and then you just bet the over. I mean, Pacers are 14-1 to the over this season. The books can't make the total high enough for this team. I mean, do you look at it any other way than the over for the total?
No. Why would I take an under? I mean, no. That's the whole handicap of the game. No, I would never take an under with this team. They don't play defense at all. They literally are out there not trying to play defense. You look at, I believe the Pacers are the best over team in the league.
I don't think it's hard to beat 14-1.
I didn't know it was 14-1 good.
14-1.
I didn't realize. Yo, they're 10-0 in their last 10 to the over. Like, how do you fade that? Like, how do you fade that?
9-1 at home, averaging 248 points per game at home. So, yeah, just bet the over and just check the score at the end of the game and check your account.
That's actually embarrassing. Like, if we're being completely honest, that is embarrassing. Like, that's really embarrassing. I would sprinkle on the money line with Portland, because Portland really did do something right yesterday. If we forget the collapse in the second half and we just say the second half goes how the game probably should have went from the beginning, they really did find something in that first half. So if they kind of find that again in the first half this time around, I don't think this Pacers team is built to come back from 26 points down. So
yeah, Pacers 9-6 on this year. averaging 128.8 points per game, and more importantly, giving up 125.5 on the season at plus 3.3. But again, that will adjust sooner rather than later. All right, player props in this game here, Terrell. What are we looking at?
I mean, somebody in there was talking about centers versus who was that dropped that nugget about centers versus the Pacers. Let's see here. It was somebody. The chat is booming. Shout out to the chat. Make sure you hop into the chat. Kaysen dropped it. Talk about
think we lost Terrell for a second there, but yeah, I'll mention it here for centers against Aiden. I've bet on Aiden props this season, I think multiple times. At least I want to say 4 times. I think I'm 1-3 in those spots against or betting on Aiden. But you take a look at what centers are doing against Portland, and let me pull up these numbers here. Give me a second. Sorry, not against Portland, against Indiana. So they are the worst rated defense against the center position. They're allowing 26.9 points per game, and they're giving up 14.4 rebounds. And I was looking at this earlier. DeAndre Ayton against the Pacers in his career, obviously with his time with the Phoenix Suns, has done really well against him. Actually, he's averaged 17 points per game and 10.9 rebounds in 8 career games against the Pacers. And he's had double-digit rebounds in 5 straight games. And the last 5 games, he scored 23 points, 8 points, 14, and then back-to-back games, 27 and 22. His rebounding prop for tonight is sitting at 11.5, and his points here tonight are, let's see here, 14.5. A little bit of juice on that at minus 130. So, yeah, I'll look at DeAndre Ayton here in this game. Maybe if you want to go points and rebounds over for DeAndre Ayton, that number is sitting at, let's see here, 26.5. I do like that number. The big adjusted in front of my eyes went from minus 110 to minus 115. Malcolm Brogdon, I was another guy that I was looking at here. Or we got Terrell back here, but Terrell was talking about DeAndre Ayton in this game. But
I forgot to plug my laptop in. I thought it was plugged in. Apparently, you have to plug the plug part into the wall for it to like charge. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. That's at least what I've been told.
It's new to me. When did they start doing that?
Oh, guys, I think it's been a couple of centuries, but I think picking up where you left off, you talked about Ayton, but I was just looking at his numbers against the Pacers. He's had double-digit rebounds in 5 straight games. He's had 20 plus points in back-to-back games. His points and rebounds, I think I mentioned, was at 26.5 in this game. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, there's low-key a revenge angle here, but it's not really a revenge angle. But
you're talking about the trade. Yeah.
Ayton to the Pacers was like almost there.
Yeah.
Like it was almost there. And I don't know what threw it off, but something threw it off. But he was almost a Pacer. I mean, they give up a lot to the center position. He's actually been playing pretty like decent basketball recently, and they're going to need him in this game. If they don't play any defense, I don't see why. They have one of the worst points in the paint over the past 5 games in the entire league, and that's where Ayton does all his damage at. I don't understand why Ayton would not have a good game. He would literally have to be just soft. Like,
pause.
I'm weak.
I was looking also at Malcolm Brogdon in this game. If you want to talk about revenge, I mean, he started his career there, but since he's returned from injury with a hamstring with the Blazers, the last 3 games, he's averaging 19 points, and then he's averaged about 8 assists per game. But again, I think that if this is going to be a high-paced game, that you're probably going to expect Malcolm Brogdon to rack up the assist in this game here as well. So his assists for tonight are at 7.5 at plus 115. I don't get that number, but I think I'll be on the over for that for sure in this game. So if you want to go Brogdon, points and assists combined, or if you just want the plus odds on his assists, I think that goes. I think that he'll definitely get there. And then I'm looking at his alt assist for 10 plus for Brogdon here tonight. That is at, they're not even offering it. Over 8.5 is plus 195. So those are the ones I was coming looking at. Anything else you like as far as player props?
Man, I think that's really about it for me. I'll back DeAndre in, and I still think that defensively Portland's going to give it up as well. So you still have Halliburton assist that's still live. I think that's still going to be a really good play. I may be interested in Buddy Hield threes today. I got to do some more look into that, but just expect points and craft you a crazy same game parlay, getting a bunch of points.
Jeremy Grant threes as well. I'll throw that last one in there. Over 2.5 right now. He's at least 3 in 3 straight games. He's at least 5 in 2 of the last 3 games as well. Yeah, and Pacers, again, as far as pace goes, we know that they give it up, but also at that small forward position, the Pacers are allowing, I think it was like 4.5 3-pointers per game. So, yeah, I'll look at Jeremy Grant as well. All right. Before we get over to the next game on the schedule here, let me tell everyone about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy. Let's see here. Where it's like to do my ad page. Here we go. All right. Underdog Fantasy has a way to play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long. NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball, and college football. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' fantasy stats and cash in. Terrell already mentioned he likes Joel Embiid higher on his 6 assists here tonight. But stay tuned. At the end of the episode, we'll put together our Underdog Fantasy entry for the Monday games in the association. So you can watch along. You can also make your own picks. And maybe you can make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. And you sign up with the promo code SGPN. Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. Again, that's Underdog Fantasy using promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, a sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with Circle stats and data. Enter any parlay ID into Hall of Fame Bets Revolutionary Parlay Optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right, Terrell, let's get over to the next game on the schedule here. Let's go to the Washington Wizards. They are visiting the Detroit Pistons in the Motor City. Currently on Bet365, the Pistons are now a 2.5-point favorite. The total is sitting at 236 total. In this game, money line minus 140 for the Pistons and plus 120 for the Washington Wizards. For the injury report for both of these teams, let's start with the Wizards here. Jordan Poole is officially questionable for this game. He has a left ankle sprain. DeLon Wright is also out, and then Ryan Rollins is also out for the Wizards. For the Detroit Pistons, Bojan Bogdanovic is out. Joe Harris is out. Monte Morris is out as well. But other than that, pretty healthy squad for the Pistons here. Minus 2.5 in favor of the Pistons here. Terrell hosting the Wizards. What are you thinking?
Yeah, let me just go ahead and start with this. Because we have welcome to the Toilet Bowl, where the Washington Wizards playing the Detroit Pistons. Both teams at 2-14. Both teams battling for which team can go to the bottom of the lottery. And I'm normally I take the points. I never, ever really want to lay the points in a toilet bowl. But Washington really, really stinks. Like, I understand Detroit is bad, but at least Detroit I feel optimism about. Like, I have optimism that Detroit will be better, especially when they get like Bojan back and who else? There's somebody else that's
Joe
out.
Harris.
Yeah, like once they get a couple of those guys back, I think that they'll be a lot better. But yikes! I mean, good thing going for Washington. They are 6-3 on the road ATS, which is actually kind of weird. It's the only actual stat for them is that they're 6-3 on the road ATS. But I just think that with Jordan Poole either compromising this game and he probably doesn't have a good game, or you have a no Jordan Poole in this one, and then you're rolling out, Tyus Jones, Corey Kexford, Denny Abdia, Gafford, and Kuzma. That's just not enough. Like defensively, I think that Amon, um, All-Star Thompson, not Amon, All-Star Thompson is really, really good, and he's really, really going to throw a lot of different looks over here at this team. Maybe he's not the best shooter, but defensively he gives them everything they need and more to make life hard on a Kyle Kuzma or anybody like that. You have Cade Cunningham, who's been running this offense pretty well. And they finally got Killian Hayes out of the starting lineup. Like, I truly think that Detroit is going to start to go on a run where they start to win some games because they finally got one of the worst players in the league out of the starting lineup. So, yeah, I'm all the way down on Detroit here. Give me Detroit minus 2.5. But it's a toilet bowl, so you never know this. But
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. The Wizards 6-3 against spread on the road, but a lot of those spreads have been obviously, near double digits, if not double digits. But I mean, defensively, you mentioned it that this Wizards team is just not very good. Back-to-back games, they've given up 130 plus points. I think that's kind of been the narrative for them all season long. The total opened up at 234.5, and I think rightfully so. This number is now up to 236.5, like I mentioned. But I think for the Pistons, I think they're just going to dominate on the glass, right? I think that they'll create second chance opportunities for themselves. I don't see Jalen Duren on the injury report, so he should be a full go in this game. Isaiah Stewart as well. You talked about Stuart Thompson. He's been rebounding the basketball very well for this team. So I know they do have Daniel Gafford, but I think just the front court depth for this Pistons team, I think that, they'll be able to create those second chance points or at least get easy baskets around the rim. You mentioned Cade. I really like Cade in this game. We'll talk about player props here in a second, but I think this might be another game where we're probably just taking the over or looking at a Pistons team total to go over in this game. But what are your thoughts on the totals, or either team totals or the full game total?
yeah, I don't think I want to take an under.
Yeah.
Especially both. We look at both of these two teams, 10-6 to the over. Both of them really good over teams. Uh, Wizards 6-3 on the road, 4-3 at home for Detroit. 9-6 as an underdog for the Wizards here. I mean, it's concerning. Laying points with Detroit is concerning being in this situation because that's typically where teams like this fold and then the scoring goes down and it's a sneaky under that nobody expects. But I don't know how you can take an under with both of these two teams. They're both of the worst defensive teams in the league. Like I said, All-Star Thompson gives them a good stretch where I think, hey, they may be able to slow down a Kyle Kuzma or somebody like that. But not enough where I'm going to sit here and say that they're going to hold this team to under 120 points. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the over in this one, over 236.
Yeah, I dug a little deeper and I was looking at some quarter bets here. I think the one thing that kind of stuck out to me is that the third quarter total for both of these teams. The Detroit Pistons are 12-4 to the over in the third quarter, and the Washington Wizards are 11-5 to the over in that third quarter. So if you want a little derivative bet there, maybe you could get on the this game's third quarter to go over, because right now the first half total in this game is at 115.5 with a full game of 236.5. Obviously the books are expecting the second half to be a little higher scoring. So I think that's maybe an angle that you want to look at in this game for the third quarter over in this game. Player props in this game, Terrell. We mentioned Cade. I really do like Cade, either points and assists to go over in this game, but who else are you looking at? Again, a lot of it probably does depend on if Jordan Poole's able to go here or not. But last game, he did not play. Kyle Kuzma got near a triple double. It turned into a blowout where the Stars didn't play a lot of that fourth quarter, but he finished the game with 8 rebounds and 7 assists. But what do you like as far as player props?
Yeah, I mean, Asar steals and blocks combination. He's been going over it. It's been something that people have been tailing and playing a lot. I think that's a really good play here in this one, just to give them some type of element, especially because I think the ball's going to, he's going to match up with Kyle Kuzma a couple of times, and the ball's going to be in Kyle Kuzma's hands a lot. I think he'll have opportunity to force a lot of turnovers and right there in its own right. And I'm going with Cade Cunningham over assists. I mean, over it, the ball is always in Cade's hand, so I feel comfortable taking Cade over 24.5 points.
Yep.
Over where's his assist line? Over 6.5 assists. Take his points and assists combined. Like I think that this is just at this point, now that Ivy's in the lineup, there may be a change in how much of the scoring he's doing, but I think the assist work is going to continue to stay the same. So you may see a drop off somewhat in scoring because you
Mhm.
now have that additional scorer next to him. Killian Hayes didn't provide another level of scoring next to him where he sat there and said, I don't have to take 25 shots per game
Yeah.
because I don't have anybody else to pass the ball to. Now he's got Jaden Ivey to pass the ball to, another person. He can pass it to those bigs who I think are going to feast Washington bottom five in points in the paint in the last 5 games. This is going to be a really big day for Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart, maybe even All-Star as well. So I think that Cade's going to supply a lot of the assists for that. I'll take Cade over 6.5 assists. I see it a little bit juiced here, but I would take the milestones and the assist milestones and bring it all the way up.
Yeah, I agree. I really do like Cade here tonight. Points and assists to go over 31 and a half. Casey mentioned it as well. So exactly is what I was thinking, that the Wizards are giving up the most points per game to that point guard position. So, and you mentioned as well that, Cade has the ball. His usage rate is through the roof for this Pistons team. So I think that this will be a big Cade game here tonight. In the case that Jordan Poole does not play here tonight, I haven't seen any updated injury news. Let me double check because they are listing his player props right now. But
Mhm.
let's see on the latest injury news if there is anything. Jordan Poole was present at shoot around on Monday, so that looks like he may just play here tonight for the Washington Wizards. So I like your calls on the rebounding props for either Isaiah Stewart or Jalen Duren. I mean, both those guys are monsters, but yeah, really do like Kid in this game here as well. All right, anything else for this game?
Let's see. Let me just get an official number of some of this stuff. Isaiah Stewart's double double is at plus 390. Play that. Play that.
Okay.
I like All-Star 2 at plus 195. I think
He's a
those are,
rebounding machine, man. It's
yeah,
crazy.
man. Yeah. So I like All-Star at plus 195, but I like Isaiah Stewart as well at plus 390. I think you're going to get one of those. I
All
mean,
right.
it's pretty obvious that Duran is more than likely going to have a double double, seeing how his double double isn't even listed on Bet365. It's pretty obvious he's going to have one, but who's going to be that other person? Yeah,
Mhm.
it could be an All-Star or an Isaiah Stewart, and those are pretty good odds.
Stewart has had a double double in 2 out of the last 4 games overall for the season. And then let me see how he's done against the Wizards. I mean, he's been right there against the Wizards over the course of his career. He's either been a point or a couple rebounds short of getting those double doubles. He did have a double double in his last game last season against the Wizards, 13 points and 10 rebounds. So I think that's a great call. All right, next game on the board here, Terrell. 2 games left here. We'll go to the New Orleans Pelicans. They are in Utah to take on the Jazz. Currently, the Pelicans are a 5-point favorite, currently over on Bet365 with a total of 230.5 in this game. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Pelicans, CJ McCollum is going to be out. Trey Murphy, the third, is going to be out as well. Zion is going to be playing in this game here tonight. For the Utah Jazz, officially on the injury report, Lauri Markkanen and Jordan Clarkson are both officially questionable here tonight. Lauri Markkanen is dealing with a left hamstring strain, and Jordan Clarkson has an illness here for this game. These two teams did match up. I believe this was on Saturday night, where the Jazz came from behind and got the victory against the Pelicans. They outscored them in that fourth quarter. I think it was like 37-22. Let me see if I can pull it up exactly here. Yeah, so the Jazz beat them in their last game 1-0. Yeah,
105,
105.
104. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
100, 105, 100.
yeah, and the Jazz
37,
altitude were
23.
37-23. Yeah, so they were on a back-to-back situation where the Pelicans, and we would talk about playing either in Denver or in Utah. That altitude gets to you. I think that possibly caught up to them in that fourth quarter, but they got a day off. They do get Zion back here tonight as well. Pelicans laying the 5 points here. Terrell, what are we thinking?
Yeah, I guess we take the 5. And this is really what you want from those back-to-back game sets. You want to play the first game, the dog win the first game, and then you come back and you just hammer the favorite, laying the points the second game, and they pretty much smoke them and get them out of the gym. It was a back-to-back that first game. They were missing Zion, and I think they were missing somebody else as well. You know how this Pelicans team got down all year. They normally have been missing a lot of people over the course of the year. So let me see here. If you look at, so yeah, they started uh, Daniels, Hawkins, Ingram, Valanciunas, and Herb Jones. So still missing quite a few people in that lineup. Jose Alvarado played 22 minutes in that game coming off the bench. Najee Marshall played 20. There was no CJ, no Zion, no Trey Murphy. Like still missing. And you're still going to be missing a bunch of these pieces. But Zion does add a little bit of scoring on the inside. That I just don't think that Utah is ready to combat, to be honest. Like they're still missing a bunch of pieces on that Utah side of the ball. And it seems like, for at least the terms of this game, that the Pelicans got healthier and the Jazz did not, looking at questionable tags on Markkanen and Clarkson, who both didn't play in that first game. I mean, maybe they play, maybe this is the same story, but I don't know. I think it's too many points as well. Give me New Orleans. I'll lay the 5 and give me an under 230.5.
Yeah, I think that obviously if both Clarkson and or Markkanen don't play here tonight, that takes a hit towards other offensive efficiency. But Pelicans have been actually really good in the first quarter this season. 11-6 against the spread. They've been even, I don't say even better, but I think they've been right on that mark in the first half as well here. Let's see. Pelicans, 12-5 against the spread in the first half. So coming off of the loss here, I think, with Zion in the lineup here tonight, missing a couple pieces, but when you still have Zion and Brandon Ingram in there, I think that this is a good spot for them. Like we mentioned, right, they're running a back-to-back situation going into Utah. That's never a good situation to be in, especially the altitude will catch up to you eventually. So I'll take the Pelicans first quarter. That number is -1.5, and I'll also lay with him in the first half as well, -5. You mentioned the under as well. I do like the under this game, especially again if both Markkanen and or Clarkson are not going to be playing this game. Obviously, your offensive efficiency and your rating takes a dip when those two guys aren't in your lineup because they are your leading scorers. So, and again, Pelicans have been a pretty good defensive team this season as well. I think they're rated inside the top 10. Let me just double check here. New Orleans, number 11 right now as far as defensive rating goes. So, yeah, give me the Pelicans first quarter and full game in this matchup. Player props, Terrell, what are we looking at?
Give me Zion coming back and being an X factor. Why they win the game? I'll take Zion. No, because every time I take Zion over points, he never gets it. I'm actually might be good on this game.
Yeah, I think maybe the only one maybe would be Valanciunas rebounds for me. Quickly want to see how he's done against the Jazz, but let's see here. So in his career, he's averaging 9.1, and the rebounds really haven't been there for him. So maybe BI assists. He had 8 assists last game, but again, that was without Zion. So yeah, I don't want to force anything here as far as player props. We'll stick with the side and the total in this game. All right, last game on the board here tonight, Terrell. We've got the Denver Nuggets. They are traveling to LA to take on the Clippers. Clippers are a 5.5-point favorite in this game with a total of 221.5. That number has gone up a little bit here as far as the opening number. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Denver Nuggets, the Jamal Murray is not going to be playing in this game. He's still considered day-to-day, so he may be making a return sooner rather than later for the Denver Nuggets. For the Clippers, pretty clean injury report. Brandon Boston Jr. and Mason Plumlee, only guys that are going to be out in this game for the LA Clippers. Denver did play yesterday at home in San Antonio, where they did take care of business, 132 to 120. Now traveling, being on a back-to-back situation here, Terrell. What are you thinking about the spread here? -5.5 in favor of the Clippers.
Well, you have this situation for the Denver Nuggets where they're 11-6 this season. They're 6-11 against the spread.
Yep.
It's not good. 6-11 against the spread. Come on, Denver. This is actually the first game Denver's been a dog all season, which is hilarious. But this is really the frustrating thing for me because I hate this Clippers team. And I really don't want to overthink it too much. I kind of want to just stick with the code. But you have this Denver team that is 1-8 ATS on the road. Your defending champions are 1-8 ATS on the road. Wow, similar to last year, actually. Very funny. Might need to start fading defending champions on the road next season. Let's remember that. You have 3-6 straight up not ATS. I'm sorry, 3-6 straight up on the road, whereas the Clippers are 5-2 straight up at home, which is actually good compared to their only 7-8 on the season. They're 5-2 at home. Very, very good home team here. Head to head is all Denver. Denver's won 4 of the last 5 matchups. Covered a majority of those matchups. But that's looking in the rear view, and it's looking in the rear view too much. When they got that win earlier this season, they didn't even cover that game, and it was in Denver. I'm not trusting them to cover a game. Give me the Clippers -5.5.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that this Denver Nuggets team is just not very good on the road this year. I think that's an understatement. Like you mentioned, 3-6 straight up, but they're 1-8 against
ATS.
the spread as well. Yeah, ATS, and they're 7-2 to the under as well on the road. And for whatever reason, their offense just takes a dip on the road this season. I'll fly here the splits for you. So at home, just to put into context, at home, the Denver Nuggets have a offensive rating of 122.7, which is number 4 in the entire league. And then when they go on the road this year, their offensive rating dips all the way down to number 21, 109.2. So I've got that's a lot of that may have to do with no Jamal Murray as well, but I think I'm comfortable laying the 5.5 here with the Clippers here as well. I don't love it just because I don't know what I'm going to get with this Clippers team, but I think my more favorite play in this game here, Terrell, is probably the under in this game, 221.5. Like I mentioned, the Denver Nuggets on the road this season, 7-2 towards the under, and the Clippers at home this season on the total, they are 5-1-1 to the under as well. They're only averaging average score of about 212.7 points combined in those home games so far this season for the LA Clippers.
That's what it feels like is the play. Just take the under.
Yeah, I think so too. So yeah, under for me, and then the only game that went over was the first game, which was against the Portland Trail Blazers, and we talked about how bad their defense is as well. But other than that, they play the Spurs. They scored 123 points to the Clippers. That game still went under the total. Not sure if you caught any of that game on Saturday against the Mavericks, but that was just an absolute brutal shooting night for the Dallas Mavericks. 195 points combined in that game. So I like the under in this game, 221.5.
I had Luka over 30.5.
He did majority of the scoring.
Yeah, but he finished with 30.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like he went out earlier in the game with a hand injury, and I was like, man, watch the time that he missed with that hand injury be like the 2 points that I probably needed to end. It was.
Yeah. All right, let's go to player props in this game. Anything you like?
Jokic.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless, he still kills the Clippers.
Yeah. I would look at his rebounds are at 12.5 at -130. I'm sure his rebounds and assists are combined at 21.5. I mean, that's what they've been putting it out at. Let me see here. 22.5. They've adjusted it a little bit. All right. What else?
I mean, I don't trust anybody else on. I definitely, I definitely don't trust no Clippers, but I don't
It's a
trust
crapshoot
anybody
to
else.
figure out like who's going to be the guy every single night.
Well, that was embarrassing, but that yawn is exactly how I feel about this Clippers team because it's just a bunch of really, well, not really old guys. These guys aren't really old, but they're older guys, and they kind of just take turns playing their offense. Like it's not like they have a group style offense in this team. No, it's literally all right. We're gonna cater to James Harden today. Oh, we're gonna cater to PG today. Oh, we're gonna cater to Kawhi today. Oh, we're gonna cater to Russ today. Like the recipe for success doesn't seem long term at all, and it can buy them a couple of wins maybe, but like I don't think this is long term at all. That's why it's so hard for me to pick Clippers props because it's just like what Clippers team is showing up. Is this the Russ led Clippers team? Is this the James Harden led Clippers team? Because it just seems like it's just a bunch of guys taking turns of being that guy in the offense. So I mean, hey, I'm good. Just give me Jokic prop. Jokic kills the team regardless.
Reggie Jackson revenge game.
Is that technically? I guess that is technically a thing.
Because he got, I know he got, either was it waived or he got traded to them, to the Denver Nuggets.
Reggie Jackson's been on like 10 teams at this point.
That's true.
He's got like 10 different
It feels like
games.
it, but he's only played for 4 games or 4 teams.
Oh, yeah. It feels like he's got like 10 different revenge games.
Yeah. All right.
It's like Jay Crowder saying Jay Crowder revenge game. Let me get a Pat Bev revenge game.
Let me get a Jeff Green revenge game. He's played on like 13. All right, let's get into our lock and dog here for tonight, Terrell, and then we'll do our Underdog Fantasy entry. You want to lead us off?
All righty, here for my lock. Golly, it's not a lot that I love. It's not much that I really hate either. Why not? Nobody's ever going to do this. And when am I ever going to have a chance to lock up Portland on the show? Give me Portland plus 13. This is way too many points for a Pacers team. They're not that good. Defensively, they're pretty bad. And we look at the numbers. Games go over in this for back-to-back teams. I expect, while Portland probably not going to be playing any defense, I know for a fact, the Pacers are not going to play any defense. And so the Pacers, will they be up 15 in this game? Maybe even 20? Possibly. But they're going to give it up. They're going to give it up really quickly. So, yeah, give me 13. I'll take Portland plus 13. That's my lock. All right. Locking up Portland. No, I don't think anybody's done that this season. For my dog. All right, I'm going to go to a prop. Let's go with an alt line on Cade Cunningham assists, because I think this is an over game as well. Expect to see a bunch of points. And the points in the paint differential for the Wizards is alarming. They're really, really bad at guarding the paint. They don't really have anybody of that aspect to really do it. So I think Cade can feed your pick of Duran, Thompson, or Stewart and get a whole bunch of easy assists. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he racked up 7 or 8 by the end of the first half. Like, I think he could really get to that number. So I'll take Cade Cunningham, alt line. Yeah, I'll just go for the 10. Give me 10 assists plus 360 on Bet365.
I like it. All right, for my lock, I'll go with the Pelicans in the first quarter -1.5. Give me the first half. I'll take the -2.5 for the Pelicans in the first half. They've just, or at least over the last 5 games, they've been really good in the first half. I'm trying to pull up the exact numbers here. So first half, New Orleans Pelicans are number 9 with on the offensive rating, 120.2. But I think more importantly for me, they're the best defensive rated team in the first half over the last 5 games, with a net rating of 17.5, which is the third best, only behind Boston and Phoenix. Mentioned that they lost in their previous game against the Utah Jazz. I think that, especially with Zion back here, that gives them a little bit more offense here, obviously. And even if even if Clarkson or Markkanen do play in this game, I just still like the revenge spot here. And then for them to come out in the first half and take care of business. So -2.5 in the first half for the Pelicans. Also looking at an assist prop here as a milestone. It's the same exact odds that you gave out here. But I'm going to go with Malcolm Brogdon here tonight, +360 to get 10 plus assists.
Okay.
We talk about, again, this game with the total that's at, 240. You mentioned it. The Pacers play zero defense, 14-1 towards the over in their 15 games that they have played in this season. And since he's come back in the 3 games here, has Malcolm Brogdon. He's put up 12 assists, 8 assists, and 5 assists. So I think that he'll obviously get more minutes here tonight for the Portland Trailblazers. But again, it's just a pace factor thing, right? Where you have a team in the Pacers that are the best offensive rated team. They play with the highest pace and they have the worst defense. So again, you'll see a lot of up and down, a lot of assist opportunities in this game. So I think Malcolm Brogdon can get that done. Again, like I mentioned, last game against the Milwaukee Bucks, he had 12 assists on Sunday last night. And then he chipped in with 18 points, but I think that he gets 10 plus assists here tonight for sure at +360. All right, Terrell, let's get over to our Underdog Fantasy entry here for tonight. Again, make sure to go to underdogfantasy.com and make sure you use that promo code SGPN. You'll get a 100% deposit bonus of up to $100. But make sure you have to use that promo code SGPN. Toronto, you mentioned you like Joel Embiid on his assist to go higher. So we'll put that in as our first entry for that. So higher 6 assists for Joel Embiid. What else are you looking at?
Let's see here. How we want to do this. I feel like we need some action in the Indiana and Portland game. DeAndre Ayton, higher, 14.5 points. He should be able to get there.
Yeah, 14.5 points. Okay, we'll go higher on that for Ayton. What else? What was a game that we liked? No, not Zion. Jokic. I mean, can never go wrong with Jokic.
Yeah.
You want to go rebounds or rebounds and assist?
I think just rebounds. I don't trust everybody else to be able to score on the road.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I can go Jokic 12.5 rebounds.
All right, we'll do that. So higher on Jokic as our third leg for this entry. So Joel Embiid higher than 6 assists. DeAndre Ayton higher than 14.5 points. And then Nikola Jokic higher than 12.5 rebounds here tonight against the LA Clippers. That $100 entry will get you a nice payout of $600. Again, make sure to go to underdogfantasy.com and use that promo code SGPN, 100% deposit bonus of up to $100. All right, that is going to do it for this edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast. Terrell, anything else you want to mention, my man, before we get out of here?
No. Shout out to the 52 people rocking with us on the stream. Make sure you guys like the video on the way out.
Yep, 100%. If you haven't already subscribed as well to the NBA Gambling Podcast on the YouTube channel, please go in and do so. And also make sure you smash that like button before you guys get out of here. If you haven't already left us a rating and review for the podcast, whether you listen on Apple Podcasts, whether it's on Spotify, wherever the case might be, please do us a favor and leave us a rating and review. We'll be back tomorrow at the usual time, 11 a.m. Eastern. We'll get into the final day of the in-season tournament group play, and we'll find out who the group winners are. And we'll have some information on what needs to be done for certain teams to either qualify as a wild card or win the group outright. So it'll be myself and Scott tomorrow. Make sure you follow Terrell on Instagram and on X. That's at reallyRel __. You can follow me on X as well at SportsNerd824. Till then, good luck with your bets. Let's break these books off and let it ride.